Galnet News Digest, 31st of October 3310. We read the news so you don't have to. In this week's news, the Mandalay is available for early access, but not everyone is happy. President Winters finally becomes president, only a year late. And we attempt to interview some pod people.
Sirius Corporation executives have boycotted the launch of the new top-flight Zorgan-Peterson exploration craft, the Mandalay, amidst rumours of a rift over the use of the Achilles frameshift drive. The Mandalay, released 9 days later than planned, is a built-for-SCO medium ship designed to knock the Anaconda off its perch as the ship with the longest jump range, and to offer a comfortable, fun ride for explorers out in the darkness of space. The Mandalay turns on a sixpence, so you're lined up and ready to jump almost before you've finished fuel scooping. The inclusion of 6 hardpoints has made some commentators wonder whether the fast and agile Mandalay might be of interest to pilots who are not explorers. No doubt potential use cases will be tested in the coming days. Zorgan is particularly proud of the Mandalay's handling in atmospheres, and the steps to the airlock door are fully functional, suggesting that the ship's designers may be proofing the craft against possible enhanced functionality in the future. Sirius Corporation failed to make anyone available to attend the ship launch. The long-term holders of the monopoly on frameshift drives are believed to be concerned by the popularity of the Super Cruise Overcharge FSD developed by Achilles Aerospace, which is rapidly taking market share from Sirius. Zorgan-Peterson, like Falcon de Lacy and Laken Spaceways before them, have chosen to build new ships that make the most of the new drive's capabilities. The news yesterday that Falcon is planning to release another SCO-optimised ship, the Cobra Mark V, is not likely to make Lee Yong-ri any happier. The Mandalay is available to everyone through an early access scheme. The ship has proved so popular that the website initially crashed, but it is now available again, offering the Mandalay standard build for 16,520 ARCs, while the Stellar Premium model, which includes the Thunder ship kit and the Seeker Red paint job, retails for 33,000 ARCs. A selection of paint jobs for the Mandalay are also available as optional extras at 6,000 ARCs each.
The Mandalay may have been a few days late, but that's nothing to President Winters, who must surely go down in the history books as the most reluctant presidential candidate ever. Following several months of delays in the electoral process last year, Winters was finally declared the winner of the presidential election in October. More than a full year later, she has finally agreed to be sworn in and has replaced President Hudson as the leader of federal space. Former President Hudson has simultaneously stood down as leader of the Republican Party, replaced by the architect of the hated Proactive Detection Bureau, Jerome Archer. President Winters' first act as president was to shut down the Proactive Detection Bureau. She also plans to revoke the Domestic Counter-Terrorism Act of 3307, an extraordinary law that was passed in the immediate aftermath of the 9 Martyrs bombings on 11th of March that year, in which Archer's predecessor and colleague Brad Mitchell was killed. Winters and her Vice President Isolde Rochester have confirmed their choices for cabinet. Key office holders, originally announced on 22nd of January before Winters' accession was postponed by an earthquake in Rhea, include Christine Lasky, one of the architects of the Cornelius Lasky Convention, as Secretary of State, Con Montgomery as Secretary of Defence, Bai Zheng as Secretary for Security, and Pierre-Marc Pelletier from the Federal Attorney's Office as Grand Attorney. In related news, Alliance Prime Minister Edmund Mahon is under increased scrutiny following the establishment of his chief critic, Councillor Nakato Kane, as a power in her own right. Kane is based in Tyne Isla and is seen as an advocate for the old worlds. She strongly opposes the power of the super corporations, such as the Prime Minister's close ally, the Sirius Corporation.
There's no further word this week on the theft of knowledge and attempted remote control of Sojin A by the Thargoids, or on the implications of the security breach on the so-called pod people who've been rescued from the Thargoid Titans. Speculation that these people might be able to be remotely controlled by the Thargoids appears to have been misplaced. We asked some of the pod people for a comment, but all we could hear was their contented snores as they slept on in their life support cocoons. Perhaps we should have woken them up first.
Coinciding with the launch of the Mandalay exploration ship, Achilles Aerospace has fixed the translation of its warning messages when the SCO drive runs out of fuel and leaves you helpless in deep space with the fuel rats your only option. Instead of obscure references to Le Plume de Mouton, the SCO drive now correctly and perfectly translates "you're f***ed" into all known languages.
And that's this week's Galnet News. Galnet News, we read the news so you don't have to.
So what will it be? Suit mods? Weapon mods? Brain mods? Actually, I can't do brain mods. Last time I got yelled at by some guy with a mustache.